Welcome back, YouTube. Today we're going to get into the video. Champions are Lucky Ollie as Digital Media, Grand as Jeff Hardy, Knockouts Tag Team as Alex Corelli and Eddie Starr, Knockouts World as Mercedes Money, World Champions Brock Lesnar, World Tag Team Zachary Winston, Trey Miguel, and X Division's Marshall Von Erich. Marshall Von Erich's in a storyline right now with a superstar called Suicide. Is not none of the others. Is not Austin Aries, nor TJP, nor I believe Low-Key also did one. But yeah, Jeff Jarrett's also in this segment. We'll see why. Okay, I'm gonna go do the show. Yep. But first, let's look at something. So, world champion. Edge didn't have a real long reign because here's what I thought. John Moxley had a long reign. Alex Shelley had a long reign in both of his reigns. And the two shortest right now has been Murphy and Edge. So what I was thinking was, we'll let Edge have a few reigns before he retires, I think. I don't know, I haven't decided fully. If how I'm gonna book it goes, then it looks like a couple superstars is gonna grow real big. And yeah, but I'm gonna get into it. Okay, we opened the show with AJ Styles vs. Cash Wheeler for 63. Marshall Von Erich is called out to the ring by Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett also calls Suicide out to the ring, and Marshall Von Erich looks confused, and Jeff Jarrett says that the whole time that Suicide was hired by him, that he's forgot a lot of people down in his life. He says that Marshall Von Erich has forgot people that he wrestled with in MLW. He's forgot people he's wrestled in other places as well. He says, and this very person might just be one of them people. And Marshall Von Erich steps up to at Suicide's level and is looking him directly where he guesses his eyes would be. And Suicide the lights just go off and he's gone. But Jeff Jarrett also says that the next segment that Marshall better be ready for a wrestling match because he's gonna be in one now. And which Jeff Jarrett submitted Marshall Von Erich with a figure 4 leg lock and it made a 48. It's not bad. Okay. Finn Balor gets a 71 on an angle, in which Ace Austin defeated Finn Balor for a 63. Not bad at all. 57, okay. I think we could do a little bit better, but it's okay. Okay, Jeff Jarrett informs Marshall Von Erich that he is now a tag team match. Excuse me, I didn't mean to say title. A tag team match in the main event, and that he has till the main event to find him a partner. And if he can't, then it's going to be another handicap match. Nicole Matthews vs. Danny Jackson. Danny Jackson makes defense number 3 of the IWGP Women's title with the Crippler Crossface for a 41. Chris Bay vs. Johnny Gargano, in which Johnny Gargano defeated Chris Bay when he accidentally got hit by Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle, when he knocked the crap out of Chris Bay, he was actually going for Johnny Gargano. But as Johnny Gargano was about to be suplexed by Chris Bay, Matt Riddle was going to do a cheap shot and clothesline him from the back, and when Chris Bay went for the suplex, he accidentally got hit. But Marshall Von Erich and gets informed by Ace Austin that he will be helped out by Ace Austin. Him and Ace seems to be blossoming into a friendship, in which the match also gets a 58. And well, Ace Austin and Marshall Von Erich had a in-ring ability that's not good. Their timing is all over the place. Suicide was the worst link, was the weak link, and Ace Austin was head and shoulders above everyone else. If I had did this like September 2023 or February 2024, it'd have been better for this guy, because well, he's been off work for a little while, so he yeah, 52. Okay. Here's the new TNA Thunder logo. It's not as good as the Blue Thunder logo, but I'm gonna try and get another Impact Wrestling logo. Probably the Impact one that used to be. Kurt Angle starts Impact Wrestling off with the 73. It's not too bad. Not too bad at all. Lucky Ollie versus Rhino. Lucky Ollie defeated Rhino with a frog splash for a 58. Not bad. John Moxley and Orange Cassidy hold an angle for an 86, in which it looks like they're about to fight, but instead it turns into a merchandising commercial for TNA The Impact Zone. Now, Jeff Jarrett and Suicide Jeff Jarrett tells Marshall Von Erich, see, Suicide doesn't speak. But Marshall Von Erich comes down to the ring, and before Jeff Jarrett can say anything else, he tells Jeff Jarrett that he knows what he's going at here. He says that he's going to try and screw him out of the X Division title, in which he can try, but it will be hard. And Suicide walks right up to Marshall Von Erich and points to his X Division title. And it's kind of foreshadowing that he may take it. But Jeff Jarrett says, no, Suicide, you can't yet. You gotta earn that shot. We can't do everything like animals around here. And Marshall Von Erich says, I don't know why you can't. You've done everything else. Wrong around here. And Jeff Jarrett just knocks Marshall Von Erich right on his butt with a punch. Gets a 49. Eddie Edwards attacks Jeff Hardy and suplexes him onto the floor backstage. And just as it looks like Eddie Edwards is about to leave, he tosses Jeff Hardy into a bunch of pallets. Gets a 41. Brock Lesnar vs. Johnny Gargano, and when Johnny Gargano was about to defeat Brock Lesnar, an interference for Matt Riddle gets a 76. And here it is, Ace Austin and Marshall Von Erich versus Jeff Jarrett and Suicide, in which Jeff Jarrett pinned Marshall Von Erich for a 64, not bad at all. But AJ Styles vs. Finn Balor is one main events to show. Finn Balor defeated AJ Styles, and it gets a 69, which is not bad at all. A 62, wow. Mercedes Moné and Dustin Rhodes welcomes Impact Wrestling. Suicide vs. Thom Latimer. And Suicide wins by using Marshall Von Erich's finisher. Wow. Jeff Hardy defeated Chris Sabin in 10 minutes and 1 second by a pinfall with a twist of fate. And this grows the Jeff Hardy vs. Eddie Edwards storyline. But Jeff Jarrett tells Marshall Von Erich that he will defend his X Division title tonight. And if he fails to defend it, meaning doesn't defend it, then he will be stripped of it. It gets a 50. The Rascals vs. Motor City Machine Guns when Trey Miguel pinned Chris Sabin by using underhanded tactics. meaning Trey Miguel low blowed him. Ace Austin just goes on a rant about how much he hates Cash Wheeler for 52. Marshall Von Erich versus Dirty Dango. Marshall Von Erich makes defense number 2 of the TNA X Division title. It's not bad, but they just didn't seem to click, and it made for an awkward bout. Finn Balor versus Bobby Roode for 57. Finn Balor defeated Bobby Roode with a brainbuster. In their main events, Ace Austin versus Cash Wheeler, and Ace Austin defeated Cash Wheeler for a 64. Not bad. Jeff Jarrett comes out and informs us that Marshall Von Erich will be against none other than Mr. Billy Gunn tonight. And if he loses this match, his title will be vacated. It gets a 59. Not bad. Alexa Bliss says that she's ready for her title shot and that she will do whatever it takes to get it. Now, what it takes to get, I don't know. Samoa Joe defeated Alex Shelley in 3 minutes with a muscle buster for 38. That's kind of bad. Low-key and Rhino has an angle for 50. Marshall Von Erich versus Billy Gunn. Marshall Von Erich defeated Billy Gunn with a moonsault for 47. Nice. An angle featuring Orange Cassidy where he's playing what do they call it? What do they call the gameplay footage before the game's released? Unreleased gameplay footage or something. Anyhow, it's TNA The Impact Zone, as it's the new video game that's being released for them. And then Ace Austin versus Johnny Gargano, when Ace Austin defeated Johnny Gargano in 15 minutes and 38 seconds for a 60. Not bad. Okay, Jeff Hardy in Suicide says, well, Jeff Jarrett, excuse me, not in Suicide, but just Jeff Jarrett comes out with the microphone and says that him and Suicide will face Marshall Von Erich in a, what is it, a tables match? I believe a submission match. And whether Marshall Von Erich can find a partner or not to team up with him, we'll tell if it's a handicap match or not. And Suicide just looks at the camera. Jon Moxley and Alexa Bliss for a 74, where Jon Moxley tells her that if she keeps running her mouth, that she won't get far in the company. But Orange Cassidy versus Bobby Roode, where Orange Cassidy defeated Bobby Roode in 10 minutes 24 seconds with a beach break, in which Orange Cassidy talks about adding another name to his legacy here in TNA. But the main event got 67, and Ace Austin actually submitted Jeff Jarrett for 61. Not bad. Holy. Orange Cassidy's doing more than Ace Austin this month. Maybe did Ace Austin drop his momentum? He might have. No, they're at the same momentum. In fact, Ace Austin has more popularity. Huh. Nice. You keep looking at stuff like that. Jon Moxley and Dustin Rhodes holds a promotional commercial promoting TNA The Impact Zone. Jamie Hayter and Alexa Bliss talk about having a first contendership for the women's title, and who will face Mercedes Moné at the upcoming event for a 74. Dustin Rhodes vs. Bobby Roode gets a 41, where Dustin Rhodes defeated Bobby Roode with a lifting reverse DDT. Jeff Jarrett informs everyone that Marshall Von Erich will defend his X Division title once again, and Suicide's there to back him up for a 51. Brian Myers vs. Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy makes defense number 6 of the TNA Grand Title. And here it is. Marshall Von Erich makes defense number 3, but only because the interference from Suicide, where he went to hit Marshall Von Erich, he missed and hit Jake Crist for a 66. So not bad. Jamie Hayter versus Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss defeated Jamie Hayter for a 63. But here's our main event. It's not as good as I thought it was going to be. It's Ace Austin versus AJ Styles, in which AJ Styles defeated Ace Austin for a 55. Yeah, it's terrible. Okay, Ron Killings does the opening to Impact this week, and he tries to make it funny by mispronouncing the name. Instead of him saying it's Impact Wrestling, he says it's that it's Explosion, which is the old TNA B show. Anyhow, gets a 39. But Jeff Jarrett says, fine, I'll do it myself. Talking about facing Marshall Von Erich for a 51. Cash Wheeler and Dustin Rhodes is promoting the new TNA Impact Zone game, and it will release this weekend at the same time the event takes place. So right after the event goes off, fans can go to their local GameStop, their local Walmart, and get it. Now, granted, this is a for the in-game thing. I'm not being for real. TNA hasn't made a game in 8 or 9 years, so maybe they'll make one soon, which is pretty good. I don't know, but they ain't making a new one. I'm just doing the in-game. So the in-game company I'm making a game for, in the in-game company. Orange Cassidy and Murphy gets a 77. And Marshall Von Erich defeated Jeff Jarrett with a moonsault, in which I guess he just couldn't do it for a 59. Jamie Hayter and Matt Riddle has a backstage segment in which Jamie Hayter's saying they're getting ready to leave, and Matt Riddle rides his scooter up and says, "Hey, how is it?" Thinking that he's talking to, in fact, Johnny Gargano's wife, and when she turns around, he says, "Oops, wrong person," and rides off. Mercedes May versus Jessica for a 64. Mercedes May defeated Jessica. Not bad. An angle featuring Alexa Bliss for a 75, where she talks about going to the event to settle and get the title. But Brock Lesnar versus AJ Styles, when Brock Lesnar defeated AJ Styles with an F5. So it needs to be short matches because he's visibly tiring towards the end. Don't worry, we'll drop the title off of him in no time. Okay, the Heavy Metal Sisters versus Paige VanZant and Chris Statlander. Paige VanZant and Chris Statlander wins the TNA Knockouts Tag Team titles. Not bad for a 39. Our second match is Denny Jackson making defense number 4 of the IWGP Women's title, and she doesn't win by submission though. She wins by pinfall with a high kick. And Matt Vandegrift versus Sean Waltman. Matt Vandegrift defeated Sean Waltman with a butterfly suplex for 35, not bad. Jeff Hardy versus Eddie Edwards, and Eddie Edwards wins the TNA Grand title for 54, not bad at all. Marshall Von Erich versus Suicide. In a decent match, Marshall Von Erich and Suicide had a grueling last man standing match when Marshall Von Erich makes defense number 4 of the TNA X Division title. Mercedes May versus Alexa Bliss for a 54, and Alexa Bliss wins the TNA Knockouts World title. Ace Austin versus Orange Cassidy for a 67. Ace Austin makes defense number 3 of the International Heavyweight title. Alexa Bliss celebrates her title win by having what looks like a little bit of the bubbly. But the Rascals versus Beer Money, and the Rascals make defense number 2 of the tag team titles when Zachary Wentz pinned James Storm after using a foreign object. Cash Wheeler holds an angle for an 83, and it's just saying for fans to go get the new TNA Impact Zone game that just came out right as the event started. Johnny Gargano versus Matt Riddle versus Austin Aries when Matt Riddle pinned Austin Aries with a floating bro. And our main event is Brock Lesnar versus Murphy, and Brock Lesnar makes defense number 2 of the TNA World title for 54. Dang. Ace Austin. Let's see. Marshall Von Erich. You know what? Since I am controlling Jeff Jarrett, it would only make sense for him to do Suicide instead of Marshall Von Erich because well, he is on Suicide's side. Ace Austin was pleased with your speech. Suicide seemed pleased. And Johnny Gargano seemed pleased. Okay, let's see. SmackDown report. Not bad, not bad. TNA No Surrender. Okay, I just made a mistake. So, I guess I do have to own up to the mistake. I clicked the match, and I know it was the camera was rolling. Yes, Suicide was being played by Ross Von Erich. Yeah, y'all didn't see that one coming. See? I made a terrible mistake there. I didn't think it would show his real name. I thought it was just gonna show like how many people liked it, and I didn't know that it was gonna show this. Of course, I could have clicked on that match just to make sure. I was being super careful. Well, that was one of the top things. Oh, I guess that would give it away too. Dang. It was real stupid for me. guess I'll continue to my next thing. But I'm gonna stop it here tonight, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share with your friends, your family, and don't forget to share with your dog.